Yeah, I just wanted to share that one of the things, one of the gifts of your work has been that what I don't even know what the word is. I what you've your work is has I can't even say the words. It can't be unseen. So like a
Right.
holiday, knowing who I am can no longer be unseen,
Right.
although it can be forgotten at times. And 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 when I forget, I usually get kind of in a funk or like really like tight or and that's almost like a little signal to remember again. Like, oh yeah, there's only this.
Cool.
And and just knowing that there's only this
Mm.
here now cannot be unseen any longer. And
Yeah,
that's the greatest gift right there.
very well said. That's very true, isn't it?
Yeah.
That really is true. That's great. Good to hear it.
And just the end of seeking is just such a relief too, because I have so much more free time. The past few years since I've been working with you, Sal, I can read novels, I can listen to any music I want, I can just live. And just that in itself is also a glorious gift.
That's great. That's great. I honestly, as I always say, and I honestly mean it, ordinary life is what we've been looking for. The ordinary things of life are the divine. So that's great to hear. And then, sometimes something's challenging coming up, or
Yeah.
an old story comes up, or whatever. It can be anything. It's all fine. It's all. But you're
Well,
right. Sorry, Pam, go ahead. I want to hear
I
you.
was just going to say, having said that, I do have a question, and this is probably very carousel of the mind kind of question, but I'm curious to hear what you would have to say.
Mhm.
Is there a difference between nothing? Because you often say, just be nothing. Can you be nothing? I love that. Is there a difference between being nothing versus the words no thing? Is there a difference to you?
No, it's the same. No. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it can be differences also. Uh, be nothing just means uh, just to recognize that all this thing, name and form and story and everything like that, and beliefs and opinions and political affiliations and spiritual affiliations. That's a lot of some things, isn't it? And those things are all valid at the level of the body mind. But so I say for a moment, just see yourself as none of that, which, as you said so well, is once you see that, you can't unsee it. You know yourself in a different way. I call a paradigm shift, a shift of knowing. And so I say for a moment, and I just say for a moment, because just know yourself as none of those things, just simply now, just simply appearing and knowing now. But then on the other hand, I say full circle, come back to and be everything that you are, all the things that you like and enjoy. And those things are all included as well. But once you've seen freedom, it changes things for you. Uh, Life becomes more simple and less striving to be something, or less needing to be special, and you know uh, all the things that we've needed before to feel whole and complete, and that we're not lacking something. Now we know that I just as I am is great and fine and everything. I don't need to anything. And we see that by seeing at the root, essentially, we're nothing, no thing, right? So that's why we see that first in the intensive, to make that really clear. because needing or really needing to be something in special, especially, what a burden, you know. I don't need to be rich and famous. I mean, it's good to have some money to live, you know. I don't have much left after this house, but I don't need to be special or famous or rich or anything. I don't need any of that, really. Nothing is fine. Just as I am is fine, you know. So, and that's a huge difference from our normal way of being, you know, because we're not only seeking in spirituality, we're seeking our whole life to fulfill something here, to be special, to fulfill, to feel like we've attained something or become something or made something of ourselves, or what all of these ideas that we have that we need. And so I say, I just put one foot in front of the other. I don't know anything. What's coming is coming, and what's going is going. And I make my plans, and I do this and I do that, and I do what's in front of me, and then, but it's what's going to come of it. How do I know? I don't know any of that, you know. So in that way, I'm nothing as well, you know. And in nothing, in being nothing freely and not needing any particular thing to feel whole and complete, then I'm free to do everything, you know, and to be everything as well, you know. But it's just a flow, it's just a movement of whatever is appearing here, because as we all know, there's no doer of any of it. So whatever is appearing here is appearing here. So everything is nothing also, and nothing is everything as well, you know. But you said it in the beginning, but until we know that, which you can't unknow, as you said so well, then we only believe we're this everything, this something, and then there's something wrong, you know, because that is never complete and whole. That aspect, if we believe that's a solidified thing, a person, that then there's always something wrong that has to be fixed, you know. But when we have that paradigm shift and we know I'm only nothing, then that's fine, however it's appearing, you know. Because it's no longer, we're putting all our eggs in the basket of being something, you know. Until we know freedom and we no longer need to be anything, we put all of our eggs of security and stability and feeling good in the basket of being something. And that's really a fool's errand, really, isn't it? Now we don't need to be anything in particular, and therefore we're free to be everything. Flowing like a movement, you know. So that's good, Pam. Good, well said. I don't know.
Hi, Sal. Hi.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree with what Pam said. Same thing. You notice, and the knowing, I mean, if there is some kind of a development, it feels like that knowing is much more available. You know, I don't get sucked down into the rabbit hole that much anymore, because the holidays just seem to be happening sooner, faster. It seems to be the more of where I live, really, and that sense of holiday.
Yeah.
But the question I have is, since working with you, thank you.
Thank you.
I am happier, freer, you know, stuff doesn't drag me down. But I have people around me that do get caught in their nightmarish visions of how the world is.
Yeah.
And I see it and I'm like, how can I help? Is there anything I can say to them? I can't say, hey, have a holiday, obviously, you know. Even I tried. Didn't go so well.
No.
You know, just try to say, hey, it's just in your head, you know, don't you see your life is actually perfect? How can I help?
You know, no. And I don't bother with any of that, you know. I know it's a losing battle. I know it is, because as you know, you either, it doesn't, and I don't want to sound exclusive, but you either know freedom or you don't know freedom. It's cut and dry. It's black and white. You either know freedom or you don't. And you have to be, first of all, there has to be a crack of light and an interest to go and find that thing, you know, you know. And if there isn't, and one is just not had the paradigm shift and know they're fine, because Pam says sometimes I forget. I don't agree. You never forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible to forget. I understand what you mean, though. Sometimes it seems like you're lost in the story, but you haven't forgotten. If you had forgotten, it couldn't be so simple. Oh, yeah. So it means you haven't forgotten, you see. But unless that's happened, then the person, as I was saying earlier, only believes that there's something, that there's something wrong with, and that the world is a big part of my victimization, and you can't talk someone out of that hypnosis.
Yeah.
You can't do it, unless there's their own crack of light, which is why I always say to people, don't ever try to convince anyone to come to meetings or come to an open meeting. Even you can suggest it and say, here, check this out. And then that's it, man. That's all that we can do. They're either going to be interested or not.
Yeah, I knew that.
But when you're with friends and family members that you see, like, come on, it's so simple. Come on. You want to just say, come on. But as you see, it doesn't work. I don't bother. I never do that,
I just see the difference is so stark now, and it's just, I just see them in their cage, their man-made cage, a self-created cage. And I want to rattle it.
You want to, of course, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
Look at Sima has tried to tell many people, he's not proselytizing, but he's turned many people about this work, and he can't understand why hardly any of them are interested. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Of course he wants to, because he sees the value. It's been big for him. And of course, and he loves everyone, and he wants people to come to this, but doesn't work. 1 in 30 people, 40 people is interested,
Mm-hmm.
Two, he said, okay, all right. That's good.
Well, thank you. I knew you would say that. It just feels, I don't want to turn into some kind of missionary. Not that ever works. I get that.
Then that's.
So I basically only can be space for them to be. You're always saying.
Exactly.
That's all I can do.
Sometimes someone sees, wow, this person is very at ease. Maybe then that's the best thing you can do. Just be yourself. Be free. Mm-hmm. Then maybe someone will recognize something. Be interested.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dogmore. Michael.
Hi, Sal. This notion popped in a week or two ago that may be relevant here. I don't know, but the notion was like, as long as there's an identification with the body mind, there's a craving for experience, for becoming, to have more of this or less of that, and to be better, to feel good, to not feel bad. That it seems like it's the identification with the body that causes that. That's always going to be there as long as I'm thinking that I'm this. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I don't. I guess identification with the body. I understand. I don't use that phrase so much, identifying. But I understand that there maybe isn't a better way to say it, But yeah, of course, and that's also very natural and human and normal as well,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how to say it either, but the wish to become, the wish to get more, to know more, to understand more.
That's only a movement of the so-called ego, of course.
Yeah.
When we see it as such, it's just a movement of ego.
Mm-hmm.
Then we sort of downplay it a little bit, don't we? We downplay that.
Yeah.
When we think that movement is, if I'm identified with it and it's and it's trouble when I do, then we have created a sort of a foe.
Duality. Yeah.
A duality and a foe, something that's wrong. And as you've heard me say, I don't think there's wrong with anything. And I don't think there's anything wrong with anything. Whatever is, that's it, And even if that movement happens, it can't last for very long once you know who you are. It's going to have its moment in the sun, and then it's going to be gone, and, and then back to what Pam said, you can't forget who you are, you're always free, So, yeah, so the human experience, the idea on the path is that when we come to know freedom, that's it. Nothing will ever appear. No movement is ever going to appear that is in any way alluring or attractive or troubling or whatever, and that's a state of perfection that's not really realistic,
Mhm.
and not necessary, I think, because the higher reconciliation is that there's nothing wrong with anything that appears. Everything is fine,
Craving is fine.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Everything is as it is. But when you know yourself, when you know freedom, those things, they can't grab you by the throat forever. They're going to have their little display, and then they're going to be gone, because freedom, which is why we speak so much about being devoted to truth, because the more you're devoted, and I mean, it's scientific. If you're 100% devoted to truth in any moment, then nothing can touch you. But often something comes up that's more interesting, for a moment, or more than a moment, or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just scientific. But we can't have this statement that says, I must be devoted to truth at every moment and nothing can appear. Oy, this is more bondage,
Yeah. Yeah.
We just see what's true scientifically, that if I only want truth in this moment and freedom, then that's what it is, But if some movement comes up that's compelling, and then in that moment, that's what I want. Okay, no problem. That's also fine,
Yeah. Thanks. That's good.
So my work is, it's just about coming to ease in freedom and in our humanness as well, in our humanity as well,
Mhm.
and know that everything that appears is okay.
Yeah, there can't. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But it's also like, I look at, you all know, I look at the news, and my opinion: crazy, lunatic, lefty, anarchist, madman, radical, revolutionary. But so I look at the news, and I find it interesting. I really do, I think they're all insane. But it's a very good, if you want to use the word practice, and I've said this before, look at those things that drive you fucking crazy and just be there, open, and don't be driven crazy by it. So I recommend, look at these people that piss you off, and just look at it. That's it. No reaction.
That's getting easier. It's still
Right.
not. I'm still not totally free of that. Maybe.
That's also fine as well, It's like, what the fuck are these people doing? It's all, and it's also, really, it is, it's all our own mind, because Alex Jones and the Democrats are what they are, but you and I might have a different opinion of those.
Mhm.
And said that, so then who's right? Neither. It's my mind and your mind filtering.
Yeah, it seems.
So then it's all, the world is appearance of our mind, is what they say. The world is just an appearance of my mind. It's the play of my mind, the Maya. The play of my mind is what's going on. There's nothing going on. There's the play of my mind,
Right.
Maybe all these sociopaths are all enlightened beings that are here to save the world,
Sal and Michael, what I notice with that whole thing is that whenever there's a thought that I'm against somebody, I start looking at it and it starts breaking down, and I start not taking my being against somebody seriously.
Yeah.
So the whole game is that the Democrats are against the Republicans and this are against that. And the feeling against is meant to be stronger than the feeling for, because that's how they run the world. And so when I look at my feeling against somebody, I say, why the hell am I against them? You know, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm not against anyone, by the way. And I see from, because of who I am and the work that we do together, what we all know together, what I call health, you know, the health, a healthy mind, one that's had a paradigm shift. So it's like an anthroposophical study for me, you know, to see what's going on with that mind. It's really like looking at the mind, basically. It's not, each person is not responsible because there's no doer, but it's interesting to see the mind in action, what mind does, you know. It's pretty wild, isn't it?
The sense of having no control over any of it is very clear. Like whatever beliefs, opinions, convictions seem very real are very clearly just some kind of programming. Some kind of belief that got inserted. Like, and you know,
exactly.
If I was raised differently and somewhere else, and it'd be different.
That's right. Exactly. But the one thing that wouldn't be different, all of those factors are different. You could grow up like in a Muslim, or you grow up an American, you grow up this or that, and you have those things. But one thing that isn't dependent on anything is whether a crack of light happens or not. That can happen to anyone.
Right.
You know, a lot of people hate Donald Trump. My intensive here in India, I had a great guy, Bill. He was 78 years old, chain smoking, loved Donald Trump, loved him. He came to my fucking intensives. He had a crack of light. So that's not dependent on anything. That's just sort of a, who knows why, you know, that happens, you know.
Yeah, thanks so.
Yeah. Which is why we can't convince anyone else, because the crack happened for me when it happened, you know, for whatever reason that was, you know. And yeah. And for everyone else here as well, you know.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Sal.
Hi, I see you.
Hi. First of all, just really happy to be here. It's finally kind of having a little child makes it a bit difficult to make these meetings, but I listen to all of them, and they're really helpful.
Great.
So I'm really happy that today logistics kind of ended up being conducive to me joining the call.
Oh, good.
In person. So I'd like to share, it's kind of resonate, what Pam said and what Dagmar said is really resonating, as in the process that kind of started with the intensive is deepening. There's a lot more silence, like mine a lot more silent, not because I say, oh, be silent, but because just becomes more silent. And this thing about the value, it's really valuing. It's not that I'm doing it, but there is real understanding that truth has more value than the mind. And if I go towards the mind, will invariably be suffering at some point, always. And there's seeing that difference between being on holiday and seeing what the mind is, and then getting into the mind. Yeah. There's more and more understanding, just seeing the difference. There is this kind of more movement towards the holiday and seeing its value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really great, because there's a lot more peace internally. It's not that my outside life doesn't necessarily like change, it just happens what happens.
Yeah. Things
happen. I'm like doing this, I'm doing that. And but internally there is a lot more peace. It's really difficult to kind of to explain, because it's not much that's happening. But in a way, it's a really massive thing. in my,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way I see it, it's kind of in a way infinite, the unfolding of it, how it kind of, because I don't think this kind of, I don't necessarily believe that it's all going to be the same all the time. It's just going to kind of evolve and do its own thing. That's my seeing of it. But at the moment, I'm really kind of dumbfounded, just the effect that the intensive has had after all these years of searching. It just a shift, such a profound shift, yet such simple one. Like it's difficult to kind of, because I guess like when you search, it's like, oh, it's going to be like, when I search, it's like there's this kind of idea, it's going to be amazing. Something is just going to go and it's going to be amazing. And if anything, like there's less of this kind of mystical stuff in a way that happens.
Yeah.
And yesterday, like someone kind of talked about this book on mothers. It's called Mother Hunger. And I was like, oh, sounds interesting. And I started reading it and I'm like, oh, this is just like, first of all, I felt bored. And second of all, I was like, this is so much work. Like, why?
Oh, I love that. This is so much
I can
work
just
for that.
go. I can just go on holidays and that's it.
That's
That's
great.
all I need to do. And for me, also in everyday life, there's a lot of small addictions that kind of falling off. Yeah, it's really like, and the thing is, I'm not doing it. It's just happening. And I say it's not like perfect life or anything like that. But there is this kind of place. I call it place because it's the only way I can say it. There's this place where I'm free, I'm at peace, and I'm still, and I'm just stable. Like there's that place there. And that's what's kind of, I keep on going back to and appreciating it more and more, and knowing, because mine goes, oh, this is boring, and I'm like, I don't want to suffer, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I just go. So yeah, just really grateful to be on this call, and really grateful for the intensive and for the follow-up calls and recordings. It's really helpful, just as a reminder.
Great to
So
see.
thank you.
I love hearing these reports. This is fantastic, man. Wow. It's really cool, isn't it? I love it. Yes, it's so nothing and it's so huge at the same time. And how can you possibly describe it? You can't. That's the thing. That's why you can't tell anyone else either. Let me just describe this to you. It's not possible, you know? And that's why I think with a lot of spiritual books and teachings, and I'm not denigrating anyone, but because there's a lot of description and talking about, it becomes very confusing. So with the work we do, it's nothing like that. It's just recognize something, you know. It's a very different.
Yeah, it's a massive simplification.
Yes,
like massive simplification.
Right.
And it takes for me time to actually come to this and be like, okay, it's simple.
Yeah, exactly right. That's great. Love to hear that. Of course, it should be simple. I'm too lazy to be complicated. Hi, Marlisa.
Yes, hi Sal, and hi everyone. Me too, I have a good report to bring. Yeah, it really helped what you said to me last time, mostly the word victim. It's like, I'm not a victim. And
right. That's great. What a big change, actually. I remember what we were talking about.
Yeah, I was just somewhat stuck in this story, and I'm totally not anymore. I'm not really interested anymore in even reading up the news.
Yeah.
I read much less, and I feel way more at peace and more spaciousness. Lots of times, like, I really experience, you know, what's here, even if it's just the weather or just the little leaf on the thing, whatever. And yeah, I feel much freer. And I knew before who I am, but I was just really stuck in that story of the world.
It's not
really stuck.
It's very easy to get stuck in that story because there is a lot of insanity happening, Oh, I mean, there always has been, but now it's very available,
Yeah, it's like more in the face. Yeah. And also like, I'm a clinical counselor and I work as that, just a few more clients. I'm like semi-retired. But reading books about anything psychology, it has been years. I can't do it anymore. It's just all mind crap. I don't read anything like that anymore, or spiritual neither.
That's great.
So I'm really grateful. I'm really, really grateful. Yeah. And then soon our house is finished.
What's that?
Soon our house is going to be finished in maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, same for us.
4 weeks.
Moving in 3 weeks. Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Same for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sal, for all you do. I just love the company of this group, of these people. I love these conversations, and that's my home.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's great, Marlies. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Hold on. Hi, Marina. Oh, can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Hi, Sal. Hi, everybody. I guess I just want to chime in with a report also. The thing that's been ringing loud in my ears the last couple of weeks, been going through a situation with my older sister and brother-in-law who I've been helping them through a difficult situation, and it's still continuing. But what this work has helped me so much to see is there is absolutely nothing to fix, where before there was a me here thinking, oh my gosh, I have to fix this situation. It's up to me to fix it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to fix. And so when I know that, I can proceed with whatever's before me to do and it not be so stressful. I don't have to figure it out. I just do what seems obvious to do in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so different than the way it would have been had I not gone through this work, or be in this work, I should say. But I do notice the body mind still has its reactions to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting because I see it, but I don't go down that road. I don't go with those reactions, like the fear and the, oh my gosh, what's going to happen and so forth. I know they're there, but they don't have control over me. So it's just interesting to see it. So I'm so grateful to the work, because I don't know how I would have got through this situation without without it. Yeah. So it does make a big difference. Difference.
That's great, Marina. Thank you, dear. Wonderful. Super. Very cool. I think everyone should do this work. Ask Simba. He thinks everyone should do this work. But it just doesn't happen. What can you do,
I just want to say that, I resonate with everything that everyone's saying, but I have a little difference because Marina, I hope I get to the point where I never go down any of these paths that my mind will pull me into, but every so often I do. And it's a very different experience. to do that because I actually am aware that I'm doing that. And being aware that I'm doing that, I know that I can just jump off at any time I want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's so liberating. So even though I allow myself, in a sense, I don't know if I'm allowing myself, but even though it happens, you know, I can jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Different quality.
That's great. Different. It's a totally different paradigm, isn't it?
Yes, it's terrific.
Great. Wonderful, Linda. Super.
Yeah, it reminds me when you Sal said like in the very beginning, that's the bit that kind of got me. You're like, there's no trauma. I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
What is that? What's that, Asia?
You remember in the very beginning, like when I heard you, I think it was the open meeting I attended before I signed up already for the intense, but I was like, let me check him out. If I don't like it, I'm just gonna ask for a refund.
Yeah.
And that's what on that meeting you said something about there's no trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wait a second, no. Like, what does he mean there's no trauma? And then he said it's a different paradigm. And I think at the time I kind of heard something, but didn't really get it.
Yeah.
And now I totally get it. It's like when I'm on holidays, there's absolutely no trauma. It's true. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a healing place for the actual trauma.
That's great.
That's you know, it's like it's a parallel realities. They don't really intersect in a certain way. And like I know it's very difficult for me. It's difficult to talk about it, but like I get it. I get it when you say there is no trauma, and it's a different paradigm. Yeah,
that's wonderful. I love it. Perfect. That's right. God, amazing.
Hey, can I just ask something? The Lions Brighton UK, is that the gathering in Brighton?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yes, it is. So how are you doing over there?
How are you doing over
great.
there?
It's fantastic.
Yes, I know.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Jasmine.
Hi.
Hello from Brighton.
Are you having fun?
We've had an amazing time. We had Bettina do an amazing concert for us yesterday evening. Really beautiful. We've had time in silence together and just really enjoyed where we're going. Really enjoyed just being together.
Wow.
Very cool. I love it.
Yeah. Great. Hope I can join next time. So sorry I couldn't be there. Yeah.
You must.
Okay.
You must.
Yes. All right.
That's great.
Enjoy.
Nice to see that. I like that. That's great. Now you all have to move to India. Just live here, and you know, we'll meet at Shanti Cafe every day for lunch.
I'm already booked up, so I've sent the deposit.
I know, Paul. I got your message today. That's great. It'd be great to have you.
Hopefully I'll be seeing you in January. So
that's great. It'd be nice to see you again in person.
A lovely gathering, and thanks Ian and Francis for arranging it. It's been really nice getting some lions and lionesses together.
That's wonderful.
Like I said, Bettina yesterday, she played some lovely music.
Okay.
So we had our own private concert.
Oh, who did? Who did?
Bettina.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Wow, lucky you. That's so great.
Yeah, it was very special.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. That's so great.
Yeah, we've been encouraging, well, I've been asking questions about coming to India, so I've been finding out the price of planes and where the best place to stay is.
No, you don't worry about that. We have all of that. We have, if you sign up, whatever, then you'll get a whole information package We make it very
Okay.
easy to come to India. We make it very easy, all the help you possibly need. So
Excellent. That's helpful. Yeah. So we don't have to Airbnb and this.
Well, yeah, no, you have to. We give a list of things. You have to check it out yourself and book. But we have our friend Garima is going to be making sure everyone is in their rooms and everything's confirmed, and then she'll meet you when you arrive and all this stuff. And it's any questions, everything's answerable. When you get here, anything you need, you're taken care of. I really want people to feel at ease coming here, you know.
But all the Airbnb ones are the ones that you know and you've checked out. So your recommendations.
Yeah.
Your recommendations.
Yeah. We have a list. You'll get that list if you sign up. Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We thought we could rent a house.
What's that?
Stay
We
with,
thought we
stay
could
with
rent a
Sal.
house.
How many rooms you got, Sal? Have you got room for all of us?
Get a house.
You can all stay at Simma. Simma said everyone can stay at his house.
Hey.
It's a nice time. It's a nice time to be here.
Sal?
Yeah.
Hamido.
Hamido, where are you? I gotta find you. Hold on, Hamido. Hi, Hamido.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share that also Dan and Rosie Scott came to Maui for a holiday.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks ago, whatever. And they called us and we met. And just how special it was in a very ordinary way to just be with other lions.
That's great.
It's really beautiful. And I would say, like, anybody gets a chance, right? Like that. Don't let it go by. It's beautiful.
That's wonderful. Wow. Cool. I see Dan's got the thumbs up.
We didn't talk about anything about the work or whatever, the changes.
Thank God.
We're just ordinary, but there's this underlying something.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much. It's
amazing.
A blessing.
That's great. Oh. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
So I think it's amazing.
That's great, amigo. Thank you, dear. Thank you. We should all come to Hawaii too.
Yeah, you should. I agree fully.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And then you should all come to Mexico. It's cool here too. It's really pretty.
What's that?
And then you all should come to Mexico.
Oh yes, definitely, of course. We can, we can hire one of those, like the, well, I want to hire like a 1968 hippies bus, with all the painting on it. We can all travel like that.
Where in Mexico are you?
In the Baja, close to La Paz.
Oh, you're in Baja. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Just where you see the ocean from where we live.
That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. If one of you or several of you want to visit, let me know. Definitely, I will be so cool. I would be just the best.
Great. That was great meeting. Thank you so much, everyone. Wow. I'm so happy to hear everyone's reports. It's so great. Beautiful. Okay, super. Thank you very much. Nice to see everyone. Peace, everyone.